Thanks, guys. The Wildcats and the Texans both know each other all too well. Both of the teams played against each other for a long time when they were in the Division II Lone Star Conference until ACU jumped to the Division I Southland Conference in 2013. They didn't play against each other until 2022 when both of the teams were on the Division I level in the Western Athletic Conference. Tarleton currently leads this series 4-9, but ACU has won the last 3 out of 4 games. Back to you guys. Thanks, guys. ACU and UTRGV have a long history of past matchups. Last season, the Wildcats faced up against the Vaqueros twice in the regular season and once at the conference championship. During the initial matchup last January, the Wildcats defeated UTRGV, but fell through in the next match in February. They matched up again in March at the WAC Conference Championship, which was held in Las Vegas, where the Vaqueros came out on top with a 73-70 score. This is the first game of the season where the two teams are matched up against each other. Back to you guys.
Swimming doesn't get a lot of the spotlight. By the time they come back from Christmas break, the high school season is almost over. But one senior from Abilene High is trying to compete as long as he can. Here's the K-Texas Student Athlete of the Week.
Guys, North American is a private nonprofit university located right outside of Houston, Texas. This academic school year, they had 326 students enrolled. Guys, tonight's game can mark a major milestone for head coach Julie Goodenough. She's been with the Wildcats for 11 seasons and 11 years, and she's been coaching for 29 seasons overall. She has 499 wins under her belt, meaning that tonight's game could be her 500th career win. This is an achievement that is some coaches' wildest dream. Coach Goodenough has conference championships at the NAIA, Division I, Division II, and Division III levels. She has guided the Wildcats to their 7th consecutive postseason. Back to you guys.
Women's basketball has always been a pillar of excellence at DeSoto High. We caught up with former coach Larry Goad about his award-winning legacy with the team. Why did you choose women's basketball, which is a minority in a male-dominated sport, especially when you started?
At that time, the boys were questioning a lot of things about, when a coach would tell them to do something, they would tend to, well, now, coach, let's think about this. But the girls, they were just so coachable and so bought into whatever we were trying to do.
And you've had a very successful career coaching, especially here at DeSoto. Over your 30-plus years, you've won over 700 games, and with your success, it has caused you to be recently inducted into the Texas High School Hall of Fame.
Yes, ma'am, and I was so honored. That is to not have won a state championship, but just to have had the longevity I had, and especially being in one place at a time when coaches seemed like we're changing schools every 2 or 3 years. I had 6, 7 players that showed up in San Antonio for the induction for the Hall of Fame. But even more so than that, I've counted over the years I've had at DeSoto, especially the 30 years I was coaching at DeSoto. I had 138 girls get scholarships.
There has been a proven correlation between students being involved in extracurricular activities in school and having higher graduation and success rates. Can you talk a little bit about how you have seen those two come hand in hand?
It doesn't matter whether it's athletics or the fine arts, band, choir, whatever. Our children gain a whole lot more understanding of the world that's around them and how they can fit in, and that they can overcome any challenges that come their way. The legacy that I hope that I left is that they saw that my wife and I loved them. It was never about the winning, just to have an impact in the life of young people. That was what my wife and I were called to do.
Around town, students at McMurray University got a special treat today. A WNBA superstar known as the female Michael Jordan was there with a special message. I spoke with Cheryl Swoops to hear what that message was. Former WNBA superstar Cheryl Swoops spoke at McMurray's Women's Leadership Luncheon Thursday afternoon in hopes of inspiring young women with her success story.
And if I can do it, anybody can, right? I had so many things like stacked up against me. Coming from a small town, a single parent, you know, so many people telling me I couldn't do something, but I never got caught up in what people said I couldn't do, and I got caught up in what I believed I could do.
Swoops, a West Texas native, wanted to share the message that no matter where you come from, you matter and can make a difference. With many accolades to her name, she holds pride being a trailblazer and paving the way for younger women just like her.
I didn't have that female role model that I could look at and say, I want to do that, I want to be her. And I'm a firm believer of see her, be her. And that's always been a passion of mine, is to find a way to inspire and empower and uplift girls and young women. And I feel like that's my purpose.
Swoops was even asked to sign an old championship shirt one member of the community kept as a memento. Reporting in the studio, I'm Mariah Williams. Merkel's city manager Stephen McKay is out, but some people in town still have questions. I spoke with some of the Merkel community, and here's a look at how they're feeling about the situation. The Merkel City Council held a special meeting on Monday to discuss the employment status of city manager Stephen McKay.
Sexual harassment is also a Class A misdemeanor in Texas. Why did you reinstate City Manager McKay?
I wouldn't want none of my family working around nothing like that and that environment. I mean, nobody should have to work in that environment.
Members of the community attended the meeting at Heritage Hall to give their opinion on the matter. Many of the complaints that were filed against him were read aloud at the meeting.
On the statement, City Manager McKay respects his female employees. 87% disagreed, 0% agreed. City Manager McKay has made sexually inappropriate comments in my presence. 50% agreed with the statement.
The City Council deliberated for over 2 hours in a closed session before making their final decision.
I'm going to stay until it comes in because this is our community. This is the place that we all love, we call home, and it's important to us. Everybody here has a stake in it, so we're dedicated and we're going to be out here as long as it takes.
Last night, the City Council voted to give Stephen McKay a 30-day leave where he will be officially terminated on May 17th. Reporting in studio, I'm Mariah Williams. Speeds topping 100 miles an hour. Police say a driver in Jones County refusing to stop. Then the chase, resulting in a horrifying collision of twisted metal and fire. One person is dead, others seriously hurt, and the driver now under arrest. Good morning, and thank you for joining us at 6:30 on your May 4th. DPS says this deadly chain of events started around 7 this morning on Interstate 20 east of Merkel and ended on Highway 277 in Jones County. K-Texas reporter Karina Hollinsworth shows us what happened as much of this tragedy was caught. May 4th has become known as Star Wars Day, and while there are already more movies, series, and books than even the biggest Star Wars fans could consume in a day, this May the 4th brings a pair of new series set in that galaxy far, far away. David Daniel has more in today's Hollywood Minute. Ellie Berry, the president of CAB and a member of Kojo Kai, is this year's homecoming queen. During halftime at the football game, it was revealed that Berry, senior kinesiology major from Burleson, was the recipient of the crown out of 12 candidates. A former Minneapolis police officer in the George Floyd civil rights federal trial is testifying in his own defense. Thomas Lane took the stand Monday. The former officer is one of 3 on trial for allegedly violating George Floyd's civil rights in May 2020. The annual Missions Week started this week with Philanthropy Game Night. The Missions Department will host a variety of fun events across campus with live music, guest speakers, giveaways, competitions, all with the opportunity to highlight our missions at work. House Democrats Tuesday filed a bill that will provide Texas teachers with a $15,000 across-the-board pay raise, known as House Bill 1548. K-Texas reporter Marley Malafin has the details behind this bill and how it could benefit educators and students. January is National Glaucoma Awareness Month. This important month is the time to spread the word about the sight-stealing disease. K-Texas reporter Chelsea Burrows tells us why it's so important to be aware of this disease and those who suffer from it. Hispanic Heritage Month started on September 15th, and there were lots of events on campus to celebrate. The annual Encho La Plaza was hosted by Hispanos Unidos and the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion on September 22nd. During this event, students, faculty, and people in the Abilene community got to experience Hispanic culture through food, music, and dance. This year's homecoming musical is Matilda. Opening night will be in Boone Family Theater starting Thursday and running until Sunday. Student rush tickets will be available at a discounted price 1 hour before the show at the box office. For more on tickets, visit the ACU Alumni Association website.